I wanted to ask a question for you and Jake to respond to. I wanted y'all to speak the issue that I'm having.
Okay.
So I'm finding that from all that I'm learning, and it's a lot that I have been learning. I have been getting a lot of small wins. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting in the work, and I have been getting a lot of small wins for myself. But I noticed that I'm able to see the value in what other people do more than myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can see how this program could work for other people that's around me more than I see for myself. You understand where I'm coming from with that?
Yeah.
Can one of y'all speak to that?
Um, I think that is good humility that you have to see the good in others and see how something can work for others, but not yourself. But I think that may
I'm
be
not saying that. I'm not saying not for me, because like I said, I have been getting small wins.
yeah, I'm saying
and I
more
made
than
a lot of
yourself. Yeah, but more than
yeah,
yourself. I
yeah.
think that that could be some limited beliefs, maybe that you have. Do
Okay.
you? Well, let me ask you this before I say
After we
that.
have
Do
brought
you?
it up.
Do you think it is because? Do you think it has anything to do with your ability, or does it have something to do with the particular lane that you in that you thinking that? What's the reason you think you're thinking that?
I would say I was definitely say it because of the lane that I'm in.
And what lane are you in?
Well, I do music, you know what I'm saying? But my content is based on Black empowerment, you know what I'm saying? I speak on politics a lot. Um, I don't really know how to describe myself. I know Brother Sean, he follows me, pays attention to a lot of my posts. Brother Sean, you're very articulate. If you could help explain what you're
Hold on,
seeing.
one second. The people, give me an example of somebody who you said they would work for.
So, for instance, there's a young lady in the class that I had signed up right now, and she makes like soaps and oils and different things like that. And she's somebody that I've known for a long time. But I went by her house and I just seen her whole setup. She got her little home business and everything going on. Like she's already kind of doing some of this stuff. And so I'm like, yo, I started telling her about the program. You know what I'm saying? And it just sparked her real quick. And I'm giving her so much jewels. And I'm like, yo, how can I use this for myself? You know what I'm saying?
And what does she do again?
She makes like natural soaps and essential oils, and she grows herbs, and like, she's into stuff like that.
And how does that help people?
Well, she would have to speak to that. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what she do. You can pretty much explain pretty good what she do though, right?
Yeah, I know that. She makes her own products. She's been having this business going on for a little while, doing sales. I'm messing up what she does right now, trying to explain it. You know what I'm saying? But she makes soaps and oils and essential oils and stuff like that.
And what do you do?
Toya, I'm sorry, Toya.
And what do you do?
Like I said, I'm an artist. I'm a hip hop musician, and I speak on issues pertaining to the plight of Black America.
And what issues are that?
Every product idea already exists? Wrong. Look, it might seem like the market's saturated with great products.
That commercial done popped up. I'm gonna have to cut that short anyway. I'm gonna have to cut that a little bit short. Damn, that was like the beginning of my online entrepreneurial journey right there. I wanted to play a little bit more, but we're a little bit short on time. We got started a little bit late tonight. But anyway, welcome, family. Welcome to Sincere Love the Godcast. And this is another episode of the Black Business Showcase. Appreciate everybody being in the building with us tonight. Shout out to my co-host, Nicety Girl, in the building. How you doing tonight, sis?
I'm good. I had a little technical difficulties, but we hear y'all. And thank you for rocking with us in the chat.
Man, the tech gods wasn't on our side, but we gonna make it do what it do. We gonna make it do what it do. So, we got a great guest for y'all tonight.
Absolutely.
The CEO of a Black-owned, I don't want to even just say sneaker company, but it's like a full sports apparel line that this brother owns. We were introduced to him by one of our previous guests. Shout out to Karan Joseph Riley. My brother Karan Joseph Riley threw us the alley-oop for this one. And so again, like I said, we're a little bit short on time tonight, so we're just gonna get right into it. So let me go ahead and introduce my brother Rocky Parrish to the Godcast tonight. Y'all give him a digital round of applause. Rocky, what's going on? Welcome to Sincere Love the Godcast. Great to have you on tonight, brother.
I have to say, I saw the intro, the interview that was going on, and I wanted to jump in on the conversation.
Right?
Because I already see your value, and I can understand where you're coming from. Not to even just take this off the tracks right off the jump, but I didn't know really what you were talking about. Were you talking about where you were sitting now, or as an artist? And I knew what you were talking about right off. I just didn't know what perspective you were speaking on. But I would love to chat with you about that offline or in another show sometime, because I know what you mean when you say sometimes you see the value in others more than you see it in yourself, because that was me earlier on when I was in another life doing consulting and stuff, which is why I helped everybody else. And I was making money, but I wasn't making the money they was making, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing now.
Got you. Yeah. And really that was the lesson, reason why I chose that, and the lesson that I was trying to get out of it, because that was me previously before too. I'm a little more clear now. I ain't saying I'm all the way where I need to be, but I definitely have a lot more clarity than I did in that video. Like that was the very beginning of me trying to come online and brand myself and, try to figure this whole digital real estate thing out. But I'm a little further along in that journey now. But yeah, that was the purpose of me choosing that video to open up the show. But how you doing, man? Great to have you with us tonight, man.
I can't complain. There's a lot going on today. Even after this show, we got a global share that's going on with people from around several different industries that'll be showing, sharing some content that I have put out there. And basically it's about, what me, Karan, and the rest of us about. It's like, having that one mindset of, I shouldn't have to pay you for access. You shouldn't have to pay me for access. We should be trying to build together to all build like this look right here, a pyramid, so we can all grow together. And I think a lot of people, me and Karan talk offline all the time, that where he is now, where I am, are right where we're supposed to be, but we're still evolving and growing. But you learn every day about who you think is in your corner and who is actually in your corner. And even with us doing this, because he's going to be releasing a shoe as well tonight that I'll talk about a little later. But you just find out, that one time that you need somebody that you never, because we as folks don't like to ask people for ish. And then when it comes down to that moment, because I've actually realized that sometimes you got to shoot your shot. Sometimes you don't want to ask for nothing. But when it comes to my kids, I will ask anybody for anything, because I'll do anything for my children. But when it comes to my business, I always figure I can do whatever I want or whatever I need to on my own. But there's sometimes you got to lean on other people. But when you need them, will they be there to lean on?
Right.
We'll see that at 9.
Okay, no doubt. So what exactly is going on at 9? If you could explain for the audience, what exactly do you got popping tonight?
So with us being, a black-owned business, blah, 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 all that, whatever, I wanted to take the concept of saying, hey, I'm going to share this one thing, and I'm going to give it to customers alike, because to me, my customers are just, theirs is valuable to me as those who think that they are somebody. And when I say those who think, meaning of an established, they're in entertainment, or they're on TV, or they're famous. For me, that don't mean, can I cuss?
Yes.
That don't mean shit to me. Like, for a supposed status in life, I want to be treated the same as you would treat the dude who's cleaning our office at night. If you come and talk to him any differently than you talk to me, then I can't fuck with you. And that's just me, and how I am as a person. That's the way I was raised. But tonight will show me those who I've reached out to, those who have asked me for free shit, those who I've worked with, those if I've done anything in any capacity. Hey, I reached out to you and said, hey, will you share this at the same time as everybody else I plan on doing? Some people's like, that contract. Some people are like, I'll do it in my stories. I'll take it because I'm appreciative. Don't get me wrong. But there's some people who say they'll do something and won't. And then there's those who will. I'm a doer. I'm not a talker. I will just tell you if I can't do it. I ain't going to make up an excuse. I'll just say, hey, because, why bullshit somebody when you don't have to? You can just be straight up. They might not like your answer, but at least you were being honest.
Absolutely. Can't be mad at that.
Right. But you see, people will share without even being asked, right? They get a
and that's the thing. Like for me, there's also that thing of someone always wants something in return. It's kind of like charity. People who go out, take pictures. We did something with my family that I do, and we actually had customers come and help. who I regard as family now. But when I go do those things, don't bring your camera out. I want people to maintain their dignity when we're, doing whatever we're doing for the community. It ain't a moment for you to go and tell everybody what you've done. That shit should go without saying. The only people who should know what you've done are you and those people that you've helped. And for me, it's kind of like that white woman you'll see taking pictures over in Africa doing a missionary, doing a selfie.
Right.
Frankly, fuck her and people like her. And for me, it's like you do it because you want to do it, not because you expect anything in return.
Absolutely.
It's like loaning people money. You don't always expect to get it back. If you do, it's bonus. But for those who don't need something in return when I'm asking these things, that's the thing I want to show. Black men, black women, we can all work together without expecting something in return.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I see our brother got a strong following.
How many? I can't see. I want to know.
Go to your if you on the right side, you should be able to click on comments and be able to view the public comments.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. You got your boy Shad. I put him on the screen. You got your boy Shad in the building.
What
Shout
up,
out to VJ podcast. Definitely some strong supporters for Rock Deep in the building. We appreciate y'all being here.
And let everybody know I'm letting all my admins and mods. Let them know in the groups that we're up here. My man Uncle Flizzy is this. Hey, so and this is to another point. When it comes to like somebody's writing a book about me and Amanda Sochi, and I told her that I've had enough in my life be about me. I want to make sure that I put anybody that you interview. I want to make sure that people like you guys podcast, Shad, my man Definitive Virgo, people that I do business with, people that I just know, give them some shine because I want to share and show that we could all walk lockstep, hand in hand. Matter of fact, my factory over in China. What's up, Lily? They're actually online too.
Okay, no doubt. That's what. Make sure you all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and please share this out on your social media platforms. We definitely appreciate y'all joining the Godcast tonight. And so, Rock, man, I know we don't have much time, but I want to hear about the beginning of all this. Like, how did this start for you? What was it like? Climbing that hill. Give us the story. Give us the origin story.
I'm still climbing. Let's just. I will never feel like I've completely gotten there, but the beginning was honestly like when you broke and you ain't got shit, you want shit. That is us. Once we get it, we want as much as we can get. And for me, not having my own, my parents not being able to afford
not that way.
Nice kicks for me and stuff like that. I wore bobos, as we called it in the Maryland, D.C. area, and shoes were just always a passion. But I didn't think there was something that I could do. I couldn't draw worth a good goddamn. And for me, I wanted to make sure that if it was something I could do, I could make some money at it. But I didn't know how to make any money at it. But I knew I was good at, other things, being a good people person, marketing, stuff like that. So I started my own business. I mean, I used to flip now laters all, when I was a kid. And I think people have heard that story. But for me, how this actually started is when I went to a symposium that Jordan Brand was throwing in the Virginia, Arlington area one day. Me and my boy went. And at the time, I was like, 30s, and he was like 20 something. And, we're the oldest people there, and it's a whole bunch of kids and just us. We looked like real creepers at the time. But while everybody was, all the kids was asking, when it's coming out in this color and this color and this color, I was asking business and marketing questions because I was actually interested. I wanted to know how this shit worked. And so when the Q&A period ended, they were showing some shoes and stuff, in the back of the room. And a couple of dudes walked up, and you can look them up. Dwayne Edwards, who actually is the founder of Pensole, the first design academy there is out in Portland, Oregon. And they're actually they just got a college. And then Jason Maiden and a white guy named I forget. But anyway, those two dudes they came up and said, "Thank you, man. We go all over the world doing these types of symposiums, and we always get them other questions. No one's ever asking us these types of questions." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So they gave me their cards. I had, they actually gave me some free product, and so and Mike did too, yo. I didn't want to, Mike, but so I emailed them, said thanks, and so the next time they were coming in town, they were going to go over and talk with Georgetown. They were doing a market travel, and so they invited me out to dinner. I was like, "All right, cool, yeah." So went out to dinner. We talked about everything except sneakers. And I didn't really even think anything of it, but you would have thought, I guess, hindsight, everybody was like, "Yo, you was out with Jordan designers? You ain't talk about sneakers." And I was like, I didn't didn't even think to. We grown ass men sitting there talking about kids, family, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, you know, everything up, dapped up, and that was it. Went our separate ways. Well, they sent me an email. It was like, hey, man, at no time, and they said they didn't even think about it until they left. It's like, yo, you didn't bring up sneakers because, you know, it isn't that they don't have a passion for what they do, but, you know, sometimes you just want to go out and just be. And so they really
Absolutely.
appreciated that, said thanks and all. We kept in touch. And then one day, Dwayne reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to work on a project with us? And I was like, yeah, but I don't know how to draw. But I knew how to do a whole lot of other stuff because marketing was my thing. So I worked on a project called Fake Police, and I consulted for the Jordan brand, I think for like 6 years. And then after that, I had the opportunity to actually go out to Beaverton and work on a couple of different things, cross category. So that's how I got in. And I stayed out there for about 2 years, and it rained too damn much. And I came on back. I started doing my my marketing company again, but I also do it out of nowhere. I just started doing television and radio, not podcasting. We were doing podcasts when I got back, but I started doing television and radio. But how I got to where I am right now is I just didn't want to. I wanted to go off into the sunset doing what it is that I love to do, not what I was just good at. And I was good at doing this, putting sneaker colors, designs, shapes. But I wanted to put a story behind it. Not, and I know we haven't gotten to that yet, but I never wanted to do this without educating our people. And for me, and I tell everybody when we're doing lives and stuff like that, I always tell people, for me, having the hoodest of brothers from where I'm from and the white redneckiest of dudes from Nebraska, Idaho, Montana, all talk about a black-owned shoe and say the name, Mansa Musa, Kush, whatever. I've accomplished my goal. And I know that was a long ass winded answer.
No, that was great. that was great because I'm like how you just start a sneaker company. So that really that answered the question. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I know my sister got some questions for you, so let me shut up real quick.
Sure.
No, that's all right. No. So what advice though would you give someone that's trying to start, say, a sneaker or apparel line, even if it's just a t-shirt business, right? Because I think
don't
some
do
of
it
us
without
sometimes
asking
feel like
somebody who's always done it.
Say that
I would tell people, and this is no slight on people because I don't think I'm any better than anyone or any worse or whatever, lower beneath anybody. But do what you want to do in your vision, but ask somebody who's done it so that you can learn what not to do. Because we've all made mistakes, which is why I mentor to as many people as possible. But I won't, you know, some people have, should I say, expectations, entitlements, which as a black person you should never have. But it happens. But for me, if you talk to someone who's always done it, who's already done it, you can at least learn their mistakes and navigate around it. You're always going to hit your obstacles and your roadblocks, and then the people that, you know, that's going to talk shit about you. But I have one of those mentalities that my wife still don't like that. For me, I don't really care about anybody's opinion except those who sign my checks. And since I do it myself now, my wife and my children. And for those who are trying to start don't give a damn about what other people think, because your biggest supporters will be those who you don't know. I have more people, as you see on here, that I've made friends with, personal connections with, that have supported me that I didn't know a day, and that are more than my family. Now, you will have your family members, but those people right there, those are the people I give a damn about.
Right.
That's real.
Cool. That's cool. I love the naming of the shoes when I go on your site. I mean, once we found out that you were going to do the show, I introduced my 16-year-old to your Instagram, and he's like, "Mom, those are dope," you know. And I was like, if a 16-year-old is saying it, that means something.
I was just about to say, because for me, I believe that is a big compliment. Not to take any away from all the old heads that's on my joint, but I believe that, you know, because I ask my kids, look, my kids are my harshest critics. We talk S about each other, you know.
Mine too.
Not always respectfully, but on my end, they got to be respectful. But I do ask them what they think about things, because what I make may not appeal to all of them, but they do represent a segment of the potential buying population. So you got to listen to the kids when it comes to things that you want to get out there, because even if they ain't got no money, they're buying it from, you know, or they're getting their money from folks like us who are parents. So, you know, I appreciate you showing it. And on another level, as a black mom who is teaching for her son about the importance of black ownership, because I will tell you that, you know, when I had stores before the pandemic, and there would be kids and adults who would walk by and be like, "Oh, that ain't Nike, that ain't Reebok," and I would step out, "It sure ain't." And people always wonder why I don't get mad about it, because I feel more bad for them than anything else, because you're the one that's going to go through life not even understanding that the importance of what I'm doing is big. And I'm not saying it's, I'm better than everybody else, but any one of us who owns our own shit, you are doing a big thing. Period. You sell one shirt, that's a goddamn accomplishment.
Right.
I completely understand that. I completely understand that mindset. And that's the thing that does make you feel sorry for those people, because you understand there's a certain mindset that's lacking. You know what I mean? So give us the story behind Rock Deep that you almost went into when you were explaining the origin, like the meaning and the esotericness behind it and all that.
So it's not that grandiose of a story, but everybody always laughs. So I played football at a pretty high level, but I was always a slow MFer. And anytime I got open, people would yell, "Rock Deep!" So they'd be like, "Rock Deep!" Now my wife's in the other room and she knows the story, but I always tell the women at the time that come, because that's the way I ran. But I keep the other story's the real one, so I mean the other one too. But this is a family show.
Got it. Rock Deep. Okay. And it just stuck, huh?
Yeah. And for me, when it was coming up, when it was time to actually think of a name of it, that was just automatic for me, because for me, everything must be inspired by something. Anything we all do must be inspired by something and have a story to tell. And that is my story. I mean, whether it be grandiose and memorable or not, or plain, it's a story, and it's how I created Rock Deep.
And that's definitely important too, because I think people buy into the story more than they actually buy into the products anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, the story and the person, because with me having done my own, this and that, and done television and radio, I always knew it was about me and the focus on me because of my opinions, my thoughts, whatever. And when I created Rock Deep, I really wanted to get away from me as the focal point and just make it about the company, because I wanted to be about my consumers, the people that I work with. But my PR people were like, "Look, you are Rock Deep. I mean, you are the story." So I didn't, but then once they said, little black and brown girls need to understand that you are accomplishing things that not many have done. And that resonated me, because when you talk about kids, that's where I want to leave my legacy, with other kids knowing that they can do this kind of shit. You ain't got to be a rapper. Now, there's any wrong with it. You ain't got to be an entertainer. You ain't got to be wrong with it. But you can do other things, is the point that I'm trying to make, that we can all do the things that we set out to do. Because I can never tell my kids, focus on one thing, because out of all the shit that I've done in my life, I'd be a hypocrite.
And so, like you said it earlier that Karan got his own shoe line coming out, right? And so signing people up, giving people basically endorsement deals and attaching their brand and their story behind certain shoes is also adding to it as well, right?
Correct. So, and I'll bring it out now. So I actually did a sneak peek of these, and I'm
let us get a close up. Let us get a close up.
So here are the Keep Pedaling and the translucent green, and this is the first colorway he wanted to put out. You'll see foundation,
red, black, and greens.
Yep. And this is another colorway that we'll probably be doing in the future, the pink with the translucent. Let me see if I can. It's about the angles right here. There you go. You can see it. So with me, and I'll be honest, me and Karan, like, we didn't even know this about each other. We just sat back on Instagram and just kind of watched how each other moved. And I didn't know he was watching me. He didn't know I was watching him. And then one day I just reached out and said, "Hey man, I just appreciate everything that you're doing." And he was like, "Yo, I've been watching you too," because he had bought some stuff of ours. And for me, I want, how everybody's like, normalize this and that. I believe telling others that you are proud of them should be normalized, especially in the black, brown community, because me telling you, bro, that I love you should not be thought of in any other way than me telling you I love you, because you my brother, you are my sister. And if we can't do that, instead of walking around, bumping each other's shoulders, stepping on each other's shoes, giving each other salty ass looks, and be like, you know what? I'm too over that. Hey, everything good? Everything good. And we keep going our separate ways. That's the way that we should be carrying ourselves across the board now. And me and Karan, as you all protocol, we all have that same mindset that we can build together. And that's why Karan named this the foundation, because he's doing everything brick by brick.
Somebody said there's some David Banners behind you. David Banner got a pair too?
Nah, he ain't. So David Banner had. Come on now, Shad is a really great customer and his friend, a personal friend now. But me and I don't know, y'all know Karan, one of his really good friends is David Banner.
Yeah.
And David Banner gave me a call. I'm from Mississippi. I was born in Mississippi. Y'all know Dave's from Mississippi.
Shout out
And one
Mississippi.
night I'm talking to my son, one of my sons who were in college on the phone, and a 601 number popped up. And so I was like, the hell? And so I was like, hey man, let me get off the phone with you real quick. I think it might be David Banner. There's a story before that, but it was. And Dave called and he said, hey, just wanted to talk to you, John Sally. I'm not name dropping, but that's how he got him to call me. And he just said, hey man, I just want to let you know first off, I'm proud of you and everything that you're doing. And for me, I don't sweat no famous person, but it meant a lot to me coming from Dave because he's from where I'm from. And he understands everything that I've gone through and what it took to get to where I am. And that's why it meant a lot to me. And I was just like, yo, it's all right. And for me, that is something that I do to other people because, I mean, in real reality, Dave's on a very high, plateau as far as notoriety, people who know him. And for me, hearing that from Dave meant a lot. But I know that when I talk to people, I am their David Banner. And that's not me putting myself on a pedestal, but I just realized, something that I could say to somebody could change their day and the way that they have an outlook on life. And I just believe that if everyone believed that, whoever that is that you look up to and or look as a mentor, if you can realize that you are that person to somebody else, we could be really, really doing great things for our entire community.
And I like the fact that he reached out and showed that love, because that's what you were just talking about previously, us supporting and showing each other, that we love each other, looking at your brother and saying, I love you, just because we are brothers, we're our community. And that's how we build as well by, building those gaps and just reaching out on some, I love you, I'm proud of you, good looking. That's it.
And shout out to Jackson. He said he grew up in the same, I grew up in Vicksburg. He said he grew up in the same neighborhood as Dave. So.
That's our administrator. Shout out to Jackson Harlem in the building.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah. Make sure y'all pay attention to the links and stuff that Jackson puts up as well. Important links that you guys could check out as well.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead. You got it.
I was going to ask you, what are some great resources that helped you along the way when building your business and your brand?
Research, Google. A lot of people will come, when we're doing mentoring, when I'm doing mentoring, I always tell people there's 26 steps to get from where you start to where you want to get to. It doesn't mean you've gotten there, but, for creating a shoe and going through the process, you got retail, you got business, you got, the production, all that stuff. But that doesn't mean there's 26 steps just because there's 26 letters in the alphabet. It might be 17 steps between A and B, 30 steps between C and D, or 3 steps, but the same steps don't apply to everybody. Some people might move swifter, some people might move slower. But the thing is, if you're willing to put in as much work as I was, I don't expect, my cousin said this to me a long time ago, no one's going to do as much for your job or for your business as you will. It's always going to be a level down because it's not that same level of love or whatever. It doesn't mean they're not wanting to work as hard, but if you are willing to put as much, even a tenth as much of the work that I put into my own business, you will be successful because you will be willing to put in the work, period. And I don't think a lot of people understand that simple concept of whatever you put in is what you get out. And you can always evolve. You never, it's a lot of the old stuff that we've always heard. Never be the smartest person. You always want to be learning something from somebody. You know what you know, and you got to stay on your path, but you can't think that you know it all to get to the end result because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to F up, but you got to not F up on the same thing twice. If you do what you do and you keep making, if you make 100 mistakes, but none of them were twice, then that means you're progressing.
Right.
Because somebody knocked you down 100 times, you got back up 101, but they didn't knock you down the same way twice. Period.
Right.
That's bars right there. That's definitely bars right there. That's part of the reason why I even started this platform. You know what I'm saying? I told Nice to, let's bring some business people on and have them drop some game on us because we still trying to learn ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So let's get in the room with some people that know more than what we know. You know what I'm saying? So that's really, that was part of what this was all about, bringing this together, Well,
I definitely appreciate y'all. For me, I think it behooves all of us who are watching to support those like you who are bringing. Because I always tell them, help me, help you, help me, help you. And what does that mean? If y'all are helping me, I'm helping you by putting you on as many platforms as I can. Why? Because it then elevates you. But then that in return elevates me. And then in return elevates you. Because if we can all bring each other up together, ain't nothing we can't do. But if EYL, who I love, the Earn Your Leisure guys, if they're not willing to tutor folks like yourselves, are they really doing? And I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just saying as an example. If they're not willing to reach back and pull forward, then are they really helping us out or just them? I say this all the time. Who are we as a people putting in position to succeed to then help benefit the entire community? If your entertainers and your singers and whatever are all talking about Black Lives Matter and support Black business, but all you see them wearing is Fendi, Gucci, and Nike, you just talking shit and you ain't supporting. You know what I mean? For me, that's lip service. That's not doing us or the community any good. For me, I always tell everybody who, like, you can call me out. I'm not a sensitive dude. If you don't like my stuff, I'm okay with that. But let me listen to why you don't. Don't just call it trash, because that ain't helping me at all. Give me constructive criticism. Tell me what it is. If we're having issues with customer service, I want my customer service to be as good as my product. But if I'm not listening to what they say, then I ain't shit, because I'm not trying to do better by myself and or by them. So for me, if I can get enough support through the access that we give each other, then I am able to give access to others. You know what I mean? So it's all about us helping each other.
Right. That's what it is. That's the only way it's gonna work. With us, we build up so many brands that don't even put anything back into the community. So to me, it's important that we give to our community, our business owner, entrepreneurs, to build them up so that it is giving back specifically to our community. If you win, to me, we all win. That's how I look at it.
Y'all hear her? What'd I tell y'all?
So, who are 3 people in your life or around you that have been the most influential to you?
Without knowing my parents, I used to know, but I don't tell them, they don't tell me. That's the way I grew up, but I do tell, we all, I think as a generation, grew up a particular way where communication wasn't our best asset. So like growing up, you didn't hear I love you. You just knew because, daddy didn't whoop you as hard that time. But for me, my parents, because they worked, I had a post today of, what I'm doing now is for my seeds, for my legacy. But where I grew up and where I started is definitely different than where I am now. But that's because of my parents. They were both in the Army. I did not know this, but they were both on food. We were on food stamps. I did not know that we were living a life of squalor. But because to me and my siblings, we were having the time of our lives, other than me wearing Bobo shoes. But for me, we have to let people know it ain't cool to be broke, but let's go help those who need a little extra. You know what I mean? My parents worked their ass off so they can get a better home in the middle class area. But I look at our apartment and was like, how the F did we fit all in that joint? It wasn't but 2 bedrooms. It was 6 kids and then cousins. Y'all know how we all live together. And then when we went to a duplex, I thought we were doing it. We got a house now. Well, it's half a house, but it's still a house. You know what I'm saying? But I took that sense of community, always having people around me, my cousins, and just kind of took that into, the way I grew up. And so those are 2 people. I would just say watching other people as a whole, you know what I mean, is that third person. But the biggest inspiration I have is my family. Because let's be real. If I were a single man with no kids, I'm doing everything I'm doing to stunt, clout, chase, and all that kind of stuff. And even though, some people get too old for that, I guess if I were still single, I would just be doing this for all for me. But I want to leave something behind for my kids. I want to leave and not just talk generational wealth, but leave this legacy with them so that they can hire folks. Which is why when we do collaborations, I tell folks, look, we're not doing a contract so that I can get over you, you can get over whatever like that. This is so that if I die tomorrow, you die tomorrow, my family can send your family a check if we keep producing these shoes and y'all are well taken care of. Because we don't do that enough for each other to look out for each other, even if we don't have to.
Proverbs 13:22. Y'all can read it.
That is dope, man. Two things, man. First, I need a close up on those Kush joints because
Right.
I definitely got those in my cart. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And this is the one
That one right there. That's in my cart.
This,
I need those.
This is the citrus Kush that my daughter named last night. Well, she named it before, but we made a video about it last night. I know people were like, "Oh, can you show?" I've been showing this on my foot and
Those is fire.
Yes.
So this is from the Infinite line, and for me, it was important because she's always on TikTok and well, my kids are. And
right. What kid is it?
let's do something together. Let's why don't you get in on this because my kids, she knows about Kush, the cannabis, but she doesn't even know the history of it. So I made her read up on it, and then I made her read up the kingdom of Kush, and and how all those things came to be because I designed this around the kingdom of Kush, but I let her name it to go about why was it named Kush and what is citrus Kush. So she said, and she went and looked it up and said, well, I'm gonna name it citrus Kush, and I said why, and she told me all the reasons, and I looked it up and said, good job, because for me, I'm not gonna be that parent that says cannabis is bad, blah blah blah. I'm gonna tell you the mistakes I made. I'm gonna tell you the shit that I've tried. I'm gonna tell you the dumb shit that I've done because I am not going to be a hypocrite to my children. Because kids can call out bullshit when they want or when they know it too.
Absolutely.
They gonna cuss me out because they're gonna be respectful. But I want them to know I am going to be honest with you, just like I am with my customers, whether you like it or not. You're gonna be mad for a second, then you're gonna get over it, and then we're gonna come back together and love each other. But if I can include them, even if they don't take over my business, as long as you have knowledge of what this business is about, if something happens to one of the other siblings, because I have 7 that I know of, and I'm gonna keep but it's important that they know the business in case they should ever have to take over and or step in for moments.
All right, and so I know you got an event coming up also, but I want to definitely talk about the app.
Yes.
Rock Deep. The Rock Deep app is off the chain, y'all. The website is flushed out as well, the regular website, but download the app, download the Rock Deep app on your phone. Man, the brother could go live on his own app. And let me tell you something. The live stream is crispier than what you're looking at right now. It looked better than this right here. What you're looking at. It looked better than Instagram's live, better than Facebook's live. He's live on his own app. And I hopped in there a few times, and it's like 80, 90 people on there doing flash sales and all kind of stuff. Man, talk about the development of that and the whole idea. How long did that take? You ain't got to tell us how much it costs, but I know it costs.
And my man, who's also on here, I think he's on here as Uncle Flizzy, but Floyd Simmons of Defender Virgo, he this is my ice, and I always tell people, he created all this. But I told him, and I tell everybody, y'all can have this too for dollars on the, couple dollars a month, and not a couple, but maybe a couple hundred, depending on the level that you get. But it behooves us. This is access that I'm sharing. I'm not keeping this to myself. Anybody who asks me, "Hey, Rock, how you get that joint? Is it something you had to build?" No, it's part of Shopify. You can go get one too. Why not be able to tell everybody instead of keeping this? What is that information kept to myself going to do for me? Me telling you all, hey, maybe you could do something through Shopify and then do your, whatever. This can benefit every business owner on here if they're wanting to do that. But it's an evolution. You got to have product that's worthy of being on the app. You got to have pictures. I had to invest in better pictures because, I was doing shit that I was doing in my house and just taking a picture on the wall and in my hand but there's an evolution to business because you want to be able to appeal to everybody. You want to make sure that when you come on, white people come on, because they already know this, what I'm about to tell y'all. If it weren't for white people, I wouldn't be where I am today. Why? Because collectively as a people, we did not know about me and or just want to support because they didn't know who I was. And I tell people this not to anger anyone, piss anyone off, to let you know they want quality stuff, just like everybody does. But they're into a different type of quality, meaning they want hiking shit. They want pure white shoes that they can wear 100,000 times and then buy another shoe. Whatever. Not all white people. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But they will give you business and they will give you more business even if you mess up. You know what? They're like, hey, you know what? That's all right, Jimmy. We're going to give you business because we know people make mistakes. Our people,
talk about that black tax.
But they will give you the blues all kinds of stuff. Try to get over on you, And we see it all the time. Like, black business don't mean discount. And people are like, well, you can't be charging that because you like, really? Like, is that when you say that about me, you're thinking that of yourself. That a black
Right.
business can't charge what others charge because we're a black business. That's ludicrous. And
How
me,
backwards is that?
and when someone tells us that, I'm like, are you like our prices are lower than even other independents? So how are you gonna say that we shouldn't price what we price? But again, don't care about people who ain't built shit and they just want to see you fail. And I don't know why any of us are like that, but I can't spend time thinking about that kind of shit.
Facts.
Right.
Facts. All right, nicely, girl. I know you got your wrap up questions. We getting toward the end of the show.
Yeah.
Our brother gotta get to his event.
I know he has an event, and I'll just leave it up to him, even though I believe you have
It's a virtual event, everybody. Everybody going. If you go to the Rock Deep product info page, you got some stuff that the mods have put up. It's just to share the same content that I was talking about earlier. So
Type it in the chat, y'all. Type it in the chat so I can share it on the screen.
Oh, it's content, so it's an image you got to share. But I'll have Simone send it to you on the inbox.
Okay, no doubt.
So, what does freedom mean to you?
The ability to do what you want. I mean, I can get up and walk around the house if my kids ain't here with my drawers off if I wanted to. And I can get with my wife and do some nasty things. But I mean, freedom in the bigger perspective is us not having to depend on anyone else, the government, the man, me building apparel factories. And I've said this many times, this is when y'all gonna have to look out for me and give me some security, because once I start doing big things on that level for each other, putting apparel factories in underserved communities and us providing each other jobs on a large scale, people gonna come look at me like, nah, we can't have that, bro. They try to offer me. I actually know this already. But we cannot care about the repercussions, and I'm not trying to be no martyr. Trust me, I've got too much to live for.
Right.
But that is freedom to us, to me. Us being able to do for each other, because I always say if 1% of us supported each other, we would all be, we have more than $1 trillion in spending power. If 1% of us supported, I don't need to be an Oprah. I can just be an Oprah. And I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But I tell people that if we became a multi-trillion-dollar business, that I would put $50,000 into the account of every black and brown child. People are like, you can't do that. Like, sorry, I was about to cut.
Nah, say that.
Like, you can't tell me what I can't do if I've done this much already. When you tell me I can't do something, it's when I actually go out and try to do it just out of spite, except be president, because that's asking to be shot. But when it comes to doing for our people, I'm going to do whatever it takes. But the fact that we don't believe in us and others will before we do, that's the crime.
That's unfortunate. That's just unfortunate and sad. But we're here to change that with the Black Business Show.
Again,
we're here to change the perspectives.
Each other, and we're bringing that circle in, and we're just bringing the people in so the circle becomes bigger.
Absolutely. Now we're here to change that mindset. And,
awesome.
like you said, we started this just so that we can talk to businesses, get game, but also bring people in to support, right? Because at the end of the day, most Black businesses fail due to lack of support from our community.
That's a fact.
Hey, I'm with you. And if you guys ever need any pointers, because I've done this podcast radio thing, just reach out. And I think y'all doing a great job, by the way.
Yeah.
I will be reaching out, man. Listen, man, thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate your time. We know you're a busy man. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely
busy for my people, though.
Definitely another great episode of the Black Business Showcase, man. Maybe we'll have you back on another time so we can really, really get into the story, show off some of the products, but keep us updated on any events that you got going on, any flash sales that you got going on and stuff like that. We'll definitely share it.
I got some minutes.
Okay,
We're doing our membership right here. And I'm gonna pump it right now. It's a $250, $300. We're gonna be upping it so you can upgrade. But that membership gets you free shoes, bonus shoes. It gives you your money literally right back. You can ask anybody that's on this thing that's a member already, people who are out there, and we're gonna sell 2,000 of them. And it's not so that I can go get a car. It's not so I can go get diamonds. It's so that I can go and put. So we never have to do a pre-order again. We can send everything to production, and when you see all these things that I'm previewing, they'll be ready and available for people to purchase. And What will that then in turn allow us to do quicker? Build these apparel factories. Because we can't build footwear factories in America because it's way too expensive. But nothing says we can't go back to the motherland and do that too. But we need to
Right.
have the resources. So please, keep sharing that. I know my folks are doing that, and I appreciate everybody who is supporting us to this point, who's been here from almost the beginning, and those who are getting on the journey now. Y'all just as important, and let's keep it moving.
Now, is
Awesome.
that is that a one-time fee, that membership?
Yeah, once a year. I mean, I'm actually
Okay.
hoping, because for me, and I've told everybody what I'm doing with the money. We're putting up our own money in addition to that. But if it works real well, we'll do it again, because it'll just allow us to keep growing and growing. But what I'm going to do with the profits that come in off of the production of all those shoes, the sales of all those shoes, is keep putting that back into the company, so that we can keep produce. I have so many shoes that I haven't even shown, and I've just shown probably 50 so in the last couple of weeks that people didn't expect. And that's because, back I found out that, we was getting jacked. So we were like, hey, we got to move that timeline up. But you've made it when people start jacking your stuff.
No doubt, no doubt, for
Right.
sure, for sure.
Well, make sure you guys follow him on Instagram at Rock Deep, and also be sure that you download that awesome app as Sincere has. I've been on your app, I've been on your lives, and I just feel like it's a vibe. I love it. You don't feel, it's not like regular apps, because most apps you can just shop, right?
Yeah.
This one you can actually engage, with this business owner, with the person you're getting your shoes. He's showing them, he's explaining the name. It's just a vibe. So check out that app, y'all.
And hey,
Yes.
go check out our IG in a couple of minutes. We're going to do a global post with everybody posting on stories, timelines. I hope all the customers do it. And let's just break the internet tonight, y'all. Let them know that we can actually work together to do something great.
Indeed.
Awesome.
And last
We'll be there.
last thing before you get out of here, you got the mic. The whole Black community can hear you. What you got to say to us? What do you want us to know walking away from this interview, or just in life, period? What do we all need to know?
Always act as if your child is watching you. And if you don't have one, act as if one of the kids that's just in your life is watching you. Because if you would do what you're doing, and if you die and have never done anything for the rest of us, meaning to keep it going, just always pretend like, would you do what you're doing with your child watching? If your child did that, how would you feel? And that's how we all need to carry ourselves. Period.
That's a great one. That's a great one. I'm gonna take that one with me. Man. So once again, man, we definitely appreciate you joining us. Appreciate everybody joining in the chat as well. You guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Come check us out. We'll be here tomorrow at the same time. We got the gun instructor tomorrow, right? We got the
Yes, we
Damn, I'm gonna be on the joint. Y'all know how I roll.
Yeah. We're gonna be chopping up about that Second Amendment and all that good stuff. So y'all make sure y'all hop on here tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on the Black Business Showcase. And remember, family, we are not the master teachers. We are only the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media.
And again, make sure you tune in tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another great episode of the Sincere Love of God Cast Black Business Showcase, as we take you all Black to the future.
Peace, family. Love.
Peace.
Appreciate y'all.
Rock, we'll be seeing you on live.
All right. Oh yeah, I'm doing that in a couple minutes too, y'all. I'll be on the live.
Yeah, we'll be there.
All right.
Bye.